is the council's pleasure.
Can you explain to the council why it has become a mess? Why the paperwork snafus right now?
In this situation, typically if you went to Bank A, for example, to either borrow money to buy a house or refinance a house or start a business, I think it's safe to say the standard practice would be some form of title search or title insurance or title opinion would have been obtained either from an attorney or a title company. And my understanding is those generally weren't done in this situation anyway. I guess I can't speak for the other loans. And a title search, if you would have called, let's say the county recorder's office and asked, are there any mortgages against this property, they would have said no, but because it was being sold on a contract deed, the seller is still what they legally refer to as the fee owner. They still own the underlying title to that property until they get paid in full. Because a contract for deed is basically it's a seller-financed mechanism of transferring property. And because of that, what hopefully a title search or title opinion would have told you is that because the buyer was purchasing the property by this mechanism, you need the seller to either consent to the mortgage, subordinate their vendor or seller's interest in the property to the mortgage, meaning they would by agreement have the mortgage be first priority, or another popular is they would sign the mortgages, which is another form of consenting to the mortgage. And because that wasn't done, effectively you have a second mortgage on the property because you're behind the sellers in terms of priority.
Okay.
And I know one of the, not to get too off topic, but I think the EDA was kind of recommending a review of those loans where it was a contract for deed situation.
Any more questions?
So the city, in other words, are you saying then that they would have to go after Richard Hawley, who's still ultimately the owner?
Right, yep. I guess I don't know his first name.
Richard Hawley.
Yeah, it was done in the name of an LLC, but yes. And my first inclination would be to, before you kind of go past jump off the cliff, if you will, or cross the line. Once you go past, I'd like to talk to him. Right now we haven't had that benefit of, what his expectations are. After the EDA meeting, I did walk by the property, just peeked in the windows. The property itself appeared empty, but you could tell there was new wall paneling, floors. You can tell it had been remodeled.
Are you talking about his house or
downtown? The one on Jesse
Yeah.
Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one right off the corner there.
Yeah, they look good, nice.
Yep. So that would obviously be, the first step would be to try to see what his position is. With the contract cancellation, just it kind of puts us on a time crunch, especially with your meeting frequencies. It'd be, if you met weekly, or it'd be easier to report back. But that would be the first step.
So what kind of timeline are we looking at?
Again, it wouldn't be required to get involved in the contract cancellation. You could pursue these after the 60 days is up. The 60 days would be up December 27th, so 2 weeks out, 2.5 weeks out. So you wouldn't be required to do anything within the 60 days, but unless the council had strong preferences, my thought would be, to do it within, to get started at least.
So is Richard Holy still in town, does anybody know? Somebody was saying that they're going to head down to Florida someplace. I don't know if they've gone or not.
I'm pretty sure they're still in town. What is the council's pleasure?
So, Mr. Reader, you'd like to speak to him first, though, before you take any action?
Yeah, I mean, before there'd be any formal action, I'd like to call him. Whether or not he would meet with me, or meet with me and Kathy, or meet with me and one of you, just to, basically get a sense of what, is he adamant that, there'd be no payment, and this is between us and the Bellocks, or, maybe he takes a position that, yes, my property is bettered, because of this, and would be willing to sit down and work with us.
So if that meeting was not productive, then there would be another step to take, and you would need council authority before you take that step?
Right, before we would formally, I don't like to use the term sue anybody, but that's really what you're doing. Before you would, serve legal papers, we would need basically your council's authorization to do so. If the council wanted, when's the next meeting?
27th.
27th. And that's, where you get into that timing issue. If the council wanted to, basically direct that we attempt to do something with Hollies first, and if something isn't resolved, I can report to the mayor in the interim, they give that authority tonight, but make that authority conditioned upon, trying to sit down and talk with the Holly family.
I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and something like this, I wouldn't want, all of a sudden wake up and have somebody on your door with, formal papers out of nowhere. So no, I mean, that was my expectation.
So you would need authorization by the council here to talk to him?
Not to talk to him, no, but if you wanted us to go, basically take that next step and either pursue a breach of contract claim with it's Marlene and Lester Belloc, we would need authorization for that, and then if you wanted us to pursue what's generally referred to as an unjust enrichment claim with the property owner of the Hollies, we would need authorization for that.
So if you had a motion, saying if your meeting was not satisfactory in your opinion, that you would want authority from the council to move forward on the next step for filing necessary paperwork.
Right, and if
Against
you
both
want, I could.
parties? Both parties? Yes?
Yes, yeah, we'll do it with both. My understanding is the borrower, talking to Mr. Springer, has been unreceptive to the idea of cooperating, at least in that situation.